Hi, my name is Oliver Rennick from Laptop Magazine, and today we're going to be reviewing the Atari Arcade. It's an accessory for the iPad and iPad 2. It's pretty simple, pretty self-explanatory. Basically, you plug in your iPad. It's got a connector dock right in the middle. You set it down on a hard surface, and you can get to playing your favorite classic Atari games. Getting set up is pretty much a two-step process. You get the accessory, and then you have to go online. You buy Atari's Greatest Hits. It's a $10 app. Now, with the $10 app, you get one free game, Missile Command. Everything else, any other games you want to play, that you're going to have to buy. And that's a $9.99 package where you get a ton of games. Most of them are classics that you'll remember, stuff like Centipede, stuff like Asteroids. Unfortunately, a lot of the games in the list are kind of toss-away games. They're repeats of basically the same idea over and over again. But if you're looking to play some classic games on something else besides a touchscreen, the device is pretty cool. So pretty much how it works, plug it in. Usually it fits in pretty easy. Sometimes you gotta jiggle it around. Now it works for the iPad and iPad 2. Unfortunately, you won't be able to put it in with a case. So if you've got some kind of protective coating on your iPad, if you've got any kind of case, you're gonna have to take it off. Basically, it slides right into place, so you don't have a lot of maneuverability. So it doesn't slide around, which is good. Interface is pretty self-explanatory. It's pretty straightforward. Basically, we've already purchased all the games here, so we can scroll through them and figure out what we want to play. You got stuff like Pong, we've got Red Baron. So basically, you scroll through. These are pretty much the highlighted games. These are most of the games you're going to be playing. If you ever spend a lot of time in the arcade, you'll probably recognize some of them. You've got Gravitar, Lunar Lander, where you try and land your little spaceship down. Of course, you've got Millipede, which is pretty much a takeoff of Centipede. So you've got some of the stuff that's a little bit repetitive, but you'll recognize a lot of games like Super Breakout. So let's play a classic game here. Let's see if we can, we'll do some Asteroids. So it automatically is going to sense your accessory. It's going to know that you're hooked up to the Atari Arcade. You're not going to have touchscreen controls for the game. The interface can't be controlled by the device, so you're still going to be doing a lot of touching. Once you actually get started, you will be able to use the joystick. So it's laid out pretty well. Basically, the Atari Arcade, you've got your 8-way joystick here. It's a little clicky. It's pretty loud, and it's pretty responsive. The 4 keys right here. Classic layout, basically. It was good that they didn't put too many keys. You really only need about 1 or 2 for most games. And in fact, most of the time, yeah, about half these go unused. But the 4 controls, good. They're very responsive. Unfortunately, as you can see here, when you're using the joystick and not the touchpad, you can't adjust for sensitivity. So a lot of the times when you're playing a game like Centipede or Pong, it's kind of hard to get your target right where you want it to be. It takes quite a bit of practice. So if we want to play here, we'll do 1 player, and pretty much it'll lay out your controls for you once you get started. And as you can see, there's some classic Asteroids. Hopefully you're a little bit better than I am, but this isn't quite my generation. All right, so pretty much it's a fun device. If you spend a lot of time in the arcade and you want to get back to playing some classic Asteroids, maybe you've already downloaded the actual Atari Greatest Hits app, which is what you have to use. It's the only compatible game right now on the iPad for the system. It's pretty fun. It brings back a little bit of good times, and it's nice to get your hand on a joystick. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of, the games are a little bit repetitive. Because it's strictly Atari games, you're not going to have a lot of classics like Frogger or Pac-Man, because those weren't Atari. So even though those aren't Atari, you kind of associate it with that. And then at the same time, the biggest problem is for games like Pong and Centipede at times, it's a little bit hard to move around because the joystick is pretty sensitive. The keys are loud, but that comes at the price of them being very responsive, so you're never really going to miss a beat. Overall, it's clever, it's creative, it looks pretty good, it's light, easily portable, and it's a good thing to have on your desk to blow off a little steam. But for $65, it's a little bit steep. And that's our review of the Atari Arcade.